Hello viewers, welcome back. Today, I'm diving into the history books to see if I can uncover the truth about Yellowstone's 1944 eruption and figure out what really happened. Yellowstone National Park, a place known for its breathtaking landscapes and diverse wildlife, but also a region with a violent volcanic history. The 1944 eruption of Yellowstone is a significant event that not many people know about, and yet it had a considerable impact on the region and beyond. This lesser-known event is worth exploring, especially considering the park's reputation as a serene and untouched piece of nature. I'll be honest, for a while, I wasn't sure if Yellowstone had anything left to surprise me. After 1883 hit me in the gut and 1923 broke my heart, I felt like we were nearing the end of the Dutton family's origin story. After all, there is only so much tragedy that we can handle, and I doubt we could go beyond 1923 finale when it comes to the heartbreaking origin stories. And then 1944 got announced, and with the revelations of the plot and the castle once again, it became clear that this origin story still has a lot to offer. So, let's talk about it. This new series will be the third chapter in the Dutton origin saga following 1883 and 1923. And just like those two, it's set during a defining time in American history. As the title suggests, the story unfolds during World War II. That puts us about 21 years after the ending of 1923, which means John Dutton II, who is expected to be the son of Spencer and Alexandra, will probably be in his early 20s. That's right. The man who eventually becomes the father of Kevin Costner's John Dutton in Yellowstone is now stepping into the spotlight, which is very exciting to me. But let me know what you think about it. As I'm sure a lot of you remember, the finale of 1923 gave us one of the most bittersweet endings in the entire Yellowstone universe. Went through, Alexandra died from frostbite shortly after giving birth to their baby. It was heartbreaking to say the least. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but a part of me is still resenting at Taylor Sheridan for causing such a trouble to Alexandra. Still, her death will definitely be extremely effective in shaping John Dutton II. He will be raised as an orphan, and the loss of his mother will forever hurt him. So we will witness a Dutton figure who is more broken than anyone else we got to know so far. Here is a surprising twist, though. At a for your consideration event earlier this year, Julia Schliepfer, who plays Alexandra, said she'd be open to coming back to the franchise even though her character died. She said, "I know Brandon Sklenar was lobbying for me to be a ghost. I'd be an Alex ghost for sure." And honestly, if we get Ghost Alex talking to her grown-up son or quietly appearing to Spencer during a moment of grief, I wouldn't be mad at the show at all. But let me know what you think. That being said, I have to admit we don't have an official cast list yet, but the door is wide open for returns. Brandon Sklenar could definitely come back as an older, more hardened version of Spencer. He already said multiple times in interviews that he would be more than willing to reprise the role, even though Alexandra's gone. I don't think Spencer's love for her ever died, and watching him raise their son, or maybe mentor him as he prepares for war, would be a beautiful emotional continuation of their story. But of course we know from the ending of 1923 that he will also have a romance with a widower. And this was mentioned so intentionally that I can't help but to wonder what will the contribution of this woman to the Dutton history. And yes, she will make an appearance in 1944 for sure. And in fact, she will be a central figure in shaping John Dutton. The second Michelle Randolph, who played Elizabeth, is another likely return. As you know, she survived the events of 1923 and stayed connected to the Dutton family, so it wouldn't be surprising to see her return as a caretaker or mentor figure to young John Dutton too. Some even argue that she is the widow, that Spencer will have a relationship, but personally I'm not a fan of that idea. Let me know if you ship the two character though. And then there's the legendary duo Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. Believe it or not, Jacob and Cara Dutton both survived the finale of 1923, which came as a surprise to the actors themselves. Harrison Ford told The Hollywood Reporter, "I'm still alive. It was fantastic. I thought it was very tight storytelling and I was absolutely delighted with it." When asked if he'd return, he said that if Taylor Sheridan asked nicely, he'd consider it. He said, "I have no idea what his Sheridan's plans are, but clearly he is ready to star in 1944 if needed, which is always great to hear." Mirren had a similar reaction. She said, "I was convinced I was going to die." She laughed at the same event. "So I was quite surprised I was still alive at the end of the show." She also had a beautiful reflection on the show's ending saying, "I love the fact that the future of Yellowstone is left in this tiny baby in the arms of two older people, grandparents, ages." I thought that was a very interesting concept. I mean, they both would be around 100 years old, which is not impossible but also unlikely, especially in that era. But still, it is always a possibility to get them in flashback scenes, which is so exciting. Another name that is mentioned is Samuel L. Jackson. I know, it sounds so out of nowhere. And I get you, but as you know, Matthew McConaughey was in talks with Sheridan for 1944, which did not lead to anywhere so far. Then Morgan Freeman got mentioned, and it did not go anywhere either. And then this week Samuel came out and said that he wants to star in a Yellowstone show, and is not currently in talks with Taylor for it. I mean, is there a show that can fit Samuel better than 1944? So, what do you think about Yellowstone's eruptions? Have you heard about the 1944 event before? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about volcanic activity around the world, check out my other video where I explore some of the most fascinating volcanic eruptions on the planet.